In this video, I'm going to talk to you about setting up your office to do the best possible Zoom instruction, and I'm going to show you a little bit about lighting, show you give you a few sound tips, and then also the last thing is going to be I'm going to show you a few settings in Zoom that can just make things a little easier for you, or give you some examples of new things you can do. Let's start with my favorite thing, which is lighting. First thing is don't be afraid to add a light. You can buy, you can get lights. The challenge is typically in your office you're going to have something coming from straight above. It's going to be really harsh. It's going to wash out your face. Or you may be sitting right next to a window and it's going to give you a lot of bright light, but it's going to make the side of your face too bright. So adding a light, something like this ring light, is always good. If you don't have that, I'll show you in a second. A little desk lamp is something you can easily use. I bought a desk lamp at Walmart for shows and have used it a few times for lighting my face. The other thing is for lighting is be careful with windows and sunlight. Sometimes in the background, if the window's too bright, it's gonna blow out your cameras, and it's just gonna make it hard for people to see you. Also, if it's coming in, like I said, from the side, hitting you on the side of the face, it could wash that side of the face out. So it's always best to maybe use a mix of natural and artificial light, but you really want to look at it and think about it and make sure that your face is nice and sculpted so it looks good on camera. Okay, let me show you my setup real quick. And sorry, I just need to switch one thing real quick. Okay, so my setup is I've got the ring light just sitting right over here. That fills in my face, kind of fills in some of the dark stuff under my shadows, because the light above me is just a fluorescent light. Okay, and that's one that's going to make it a little harsher, but it does brighten the room up quite nicely. It also helps that I'm sitting in front of a white wall. Something else not to forget, your screens are also going to be providing light for your face. And then I've got some stuff coming from the side from a lamp and just some other lights in the room. This in particular is used for my demos. I'll actually turn some more of those on and get a little closer when I'm doing my demos. And then here's that light I was telling you about. This was just my cheap little Walmart desk lamp that I can use to add light. And the nice thing about it is actually color changing as well. So that's my basic lighting setup. Now let's talk a little bit about sound. First thing that you're definitely going to want to do is you're going to want to use headsets. That's for two reasons. That way the microphone, if you just have it, you're using your speaker and stuff in your computer, you run the chance of the microphone and the speaker competing with each other, and they're going to try to cancel each other out. So it's always best to at least have on a headset. Okay. Now I'm just using earbuds too. I had a big set of cans I was using at the beginning and they started to hurt my ears. Actually, I found these are really comfortable and kind of nice. This is just coming out of my computer. I'm not using this microphone. I'll show you in a second. Okay. Something else to consider is to use one with microphones. Even using this is still better than going through the computer sometimes. It's closer to your mouth. It's going to pick up things better. It's just going to have a little better quality. But if you don't have something like these, you can also get something like that's pictured here, a headset mic. Okay. Now, if you want to go a little further, or your university is going to pay for some stuff, USB mics are great. They just plug right into the computer. It's going to give you a much better sound. In the spreadsheet that I'm giving you, I just found a great website on some of the top USB mics. Now, you want to take it to the next step, and let's say you want to actually use a real microphone. Maybe your sound department's like, hey, we're not using these. You can borrow one of my mics, or you can use regular mics. You just need a USB interface. That's the thing in the center. That's the Shure X2U. And let me just see if I can get my picture here. Here's an example of that really quick. Okay, that's why virtual backgrounds are bad, by the way, if stuff like that happens. But this is a great just little USB interface. It plugs into the computer. The cord comes out of the bottom, and then you use regular microphone and regular mic stand. And then one more thing you can do is you could actually use a little soundboard. This is a Yamaha one I picked up a long time ago for our recording. So recording pre-show announcements and stuff like that. So that's what I'm actually using. And I'm actually using the headphones out of that. Now I'm using... No, sorry, you can't see that. I'm using a really good recording microphone. Again, it's something I bought to do pre-show announcements, and I just keep it on my desk until we need it. So, all right. Next thing to talk about is Zoom settings. A couple things you want to do is you're going to make sure screen sharing is turned on. That way you can share stuff with the students if you're showing something on the computer, and also so they can share stuff with you. There's a couple different levels of screen sharing you can turn on. You can only let the host do it. Now that means other people can still share. You just have to make them something called a co-host, which isn't that hard to do. Or you can just turn it on so all participants can share your screen. Most college classes, you're going to be fine. I did have some issues. I was helping out a group in Boy Scouts, and they all like sharing their screen, so we had to turn that off. Something else you may want to turn on are breakout rooms. Breakout rooms give you the ability to, if you want groups to go talk to each other by themselves. That's really handy for group discussions and stuff like that. They can go work in a room and then come back and present to the class. Polls are, again, if you want to give a quiz or just there's information you want to get back from the students, polls are something else you're going to want to turn on. Now, where are you going to turn all this stuff? And turn on chat. Make sure chat is turned on as well. If you want that chat to be going on. The great thing about chat is if people's mics are working or their internet's not working as well, chat can allow them to participate if their internet isn't quite as good or they're lagging behind just a little bit. Now, you find all of these settings on the Zoom.com site, and in your let me just bring this over real quick. In your if I go back to my sort of homepage here, whoops, nope. If I go to just my account settings, there we go. I've got different settings over here. Webinars, recordings, this is where you make your meetings. But clicking on settings here is where you can turn all of that stuff on and off. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is just different settings you can do in Zoom itself. So when Zoom's going, video, things like I would not enable HD. I don't think you need to. It's just going to bog down Wi-Fi. If you're at school and you got a lot of great stuff, hey, then go ahead and enable it. Touch up my appearance. Don't know what this does, but I turn it on. But the one I wanted to show you here was, well, under video, is to make sure you have, you may want to turn mirror on and off. Oh, here it is. Spotlight my video when I'm speaking. That you as the host, that way it just goes to your screen when you're talking. And it can make for a little better presentation. All right. Screen sharing. Last thing I want to talk about is when you are sharing your screen, I'm going to warn you right now, if you haven't done it, all of your settings, it looks like you're going to go away. They're not. They've just moved. Things like turning on and off your mic, turning your video. It's now on that screen that you're sharing. That's something that sort of bogged me down when I was having issues. If you're having trouble remembering some of these settings and stuff like that, make someone a co-host, and that will also give them the ability to screen share if screen share is not turned on for everyone. And all you buttons go move. Don't know why that's there. That's clearly a typo. All right. That was all I had for you today. Thank you so much.